Hi, this is Gautam from Gyanaholic. In this video, we'll have a look at the thinking process involved in game development. Let's create one of the most popular games that almost all of you must have played, the apple and the basket game. Before we start making it, let's first have a look at the game and understand its working.
So now that we've played the game, let's try and understand and break up this game into individual steps. So firstly, we can observe that the basket is moving horizontally with my arrow keys. Second, I can see the apples falling down vertically. Third, I do observe that apple falls down vertically from random positions. Fourth, when the apple hits the ground, it vanishes and reappears from the top. Fifth, when the apple touches the basket and when the basket collects the apple vanishes again, reappears from the top as well as changes the score. Sixth, at random intervals, we observe something like this special apple coming down and that apple gives us bonus points.
Now that we've dissected the game, let's quickly list down the individual steps in the same order. So first, we saw the basket moving horizontally. Second, the apples were moving down vertically. Third, we also observed that the apples are moving down vertically from random positions. Fourth, when the apple came down and touched the basket, there were three things which happened. One, we heard a sound. Second, the score went up by 1. And third, the apple started reappearing from the top. Fifth, if the apple is missed by the basket, the apple again reappears at the top and starts falling down. And sixth, at random intervals, we observed a special apple which, if collected by the basket, would increase the score by 5. So now that we have all the steps clearly listed, let's get started with making the game.
So in order to get started, we'll search for the Scratch website and click on the Create tab there. So you can see the Create tab here, we get inside. So this is where we'll create the game. We have our list ready. Towards the end, I'll give you some bonus additions that will make your gameplay extremely fun and challenging. So let's get started. We first start by choosing the right sprites. So we have to choose something like a basket. So we'll choose a basket from here, which is this ball, and we'll place this basket at the bottom here. And next is we'll choose an apple, and at the same time we'll delete this existing cat sprite. So we have our apple and the basket. We are going to reduce the size of the apple a little. So this size I'll reduce it to say 80%, and we'll check. Let's reduce it even more. Let's reduce it to say 60%, and that's the perfect size. And for the ball, we'll increase the size a little to 120% and see how it looks. And this looks fine. This is the perfect size for a ball. Let's start with the code for the ball. So I'll start with the events tab. When space key is pressed, I want to start the game. I will first want to move the ball to the left and the right using my arrow keys. So I'll choose forever if key pressed, which is right arrow key. I want to change X by 15. And I'll also add if on edge bounce. I'll duplicate this thing completely and put this here. If left arrow is pressed, change X by minus 15 and if on edge bounce. I'll also create a variable called score and set it to 0 initially. So I created the variable score and I'm going to set score to 0. Let's now go on to the apple sprite and write the code for the apple. Also, I would set the rotation style of the basket to left and right and not keep it at all round, because else the basket would topple up when it touches the edges. So I'm keeping it left and right. Okay, now that we are done with the basket part of the code, let's move on to the apple part. So in apple also, the code will start with the same event, which is when space key is pressed. What should the apple do? The apple should go to a random position at this particular height. So I want the apple to go at random position and set its Y to 180. Let me put those two lines. Now the apple should continuously start falling down, so its Y should decrease. So I want the Y to change by -10. That too, it should happen forever. So I'll take up the forever block and change Y by -10. Now there are two conditions that could arise here. One is, while the apple falls down, when its Y changes by -10, it could either touch the basket or it could either go below the basket. That is, it could either touch this line, or that means the basket misses the apple. So in both these cases, what should happen? We got to think about that. So if the apple touches the basket, the score should change by 1 and there should be a sound, and the apple should go back at the top, which is a random position, and fall down. If the apple is missed by the basket, how do we get to know that? We first check the coordinates of the basket. You can see here the coordinates of the basket is -152. Yes, the Y coordinate of the basket. So this height here is -152. Let us consider this apple being missed and going below the basket is somewhere around -170. So what would we do is, if the Y coordinate becomes lesser than -170, then again the same thing should happen, which is the apple should go back to a random position and set its Y to 180, and of course forever it's gonna fall down, which is change Y by -10, which is inside the forever loop. Let's try and do that part. If Y position is less than -170, then what should happen? The apple should go back to a random position and set Y to 180. Now coming to the second case, if the apple touches the basket, so let's again go and take up an if statement. If the apple touches the basket, which is ball in this case, the score should change by 1. There should be a sound which comes up. So I go to sounds and I have a sound here called a zoop, which I can get it from here. I can go to this and I have hell lot of options here. I can choose any of these sounds. I've chosen the last one, which is zoop here. So I can start this sound and again go to a random position and set Y to 180. So I'm going to duplicate this part from here and paste it down here. And you can see here the apple has started falling down. I can try and run this code, and you can see here the score is also going up. The apple is touching the basket. When the apple is touching the basket, the apple is going up and falling down again. If the apple is missed, it still goes up and falls down again. So this part of the code is working absolutely as we need. We can also go and choose an interesting background from here. Let's select an interesting background, say like a greenery or a garden. So let's take up this forest. This looks interesting. So we have an interesting background. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to add a special apple. So what do we do for that? We will first duplicate this apple and create another apple, which is apple 2. Now this is our so-called special apple whose color changes continuously. So first thing that we want to do is we want to change its color continuously. So inside the forever loop, I'm going to add two more things, which is the change color effect block. So let me change the color effect block by 25. Next thing I want is if the apple touches the basket, the score should change by 3. And now the most important thing is that this special apple should fall at random intervals. It should not be like this apple which comes down, touches either the basket or the ground and goes up and falls down again. I want it to wait for some time. Now because I want it to wait, it should be hidden, because otherwise you will see the apple waiting here for some time. Yes, so what I'm going to do is when the apple either goes below 170 or if the apple touches the ground, I want it to hide after it goes to this random position, wait there for some time and then show up again. So let me add those 3 blocks. So I want it to hide. I take up wait, go to operators, go to pick random, which is say 1 to 6 seconds, and then it will show up again. And the same thing will be added here as well. So I'm going to just duplicate the code from here and add it up here. And in fact, the same thing should happen when the game starts as well. So I'm going to duplicate the code from here and add it up here as well. So what happens now is this special apple continuously changes the color by effect by 25. All the operations are absolutely the same, just that the score increases by 3. In addition to this, what happens here is when the apple touches the ball or the basket or the floor, it goes to a random position, sets Y to 180 and then hides itself there, waits there hidden for 1 to 6 seconds and then shows up and then again starts falling down. That's the same case if the apple touches the ball as well. It goes to a random position after touching the ball, sets Y to 180, hides itself for some time, waits for some seconds, a random number picked between 1 and 6 and then shows up again and starts falling down. Yeah, so one more change that we'll make in this code is we'll change the sound for the special apple. Let's put something interesting for the special apple. Let's say I had an interesting sound called magic. This is an interesting sound. So I'm going to take up this sound from here. You can choose anything of your choice. And I'm going to select magic spell from here. And now we have the game absolutely ready. So that's our apple and basket game. Let's try it out now on full screen. You can go to full screen mode from here. And I'm starting the code. Okay, the game is working absolutely fine. Now, as I promised you in the beginning of the video that I'm going to give you few bonus tricks. So one of the few things that you can do here is to make the game little more complicated. Yes, with every missed apple, you can say have a score change of -1. So this condition here, if Y is less than 170, is the condition for the missed apple. So all that you have to do is you can change the score by -1. So you have negative point system here. With every missed apple, the person loses 1 point. That's a very interesting thing. We can do that for the special apple as well as for the normal apple. Let's try that out now. So look at this, with every missed apple, you can see that the score reduces by 1. Okay, so my score is going to negative now. Next thing is, what I can do here is, if I want to make the game slightly more complicated, I can simply increase the speed of the apple, right? So instead of change Y by -10, if I make it to change Y by minus say 20, you will see the apple comes down very quickly. I'm changing the same for the special apple as well. Let's try it out. You can see here The apple is coming down really quickly. I missed the special apple. Look, because of this my score is not almost been 0 continuously. So that is making your game much more difficult. Okay, and of course, like any other game, we need to have a termination condition or an event when the game would end. Yes, so for this game we can create a condition wherein if say the score reduces below 0, the game would stop. So all that we got to do is if the score is less than 0, then stop all. That's it. So I can go to any part of the code, be it the apple or the basket. I'll go to the basket part of the code and continuously check it inside forever that if the score entered becomes less than 0, then you have an option here called as stop all. So I'll go and select stop all. Let's try this out now, but before that let's just reduce the speed of the apple so that we don't lose our first game itself, and let's give it a try. Score 1, score 2, score 3, score 4, score 5, and let's miss a few apples now to check if our condition is working fine. And you see here, when the score becomes -1, the game has automatically stopped.
So this is how any game would be created. First, break down the objectives of the games into individual steps and complete those individual steps. So now that you know the thinking process of game development, go ahead and create one for yourself.